Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what side of the pond you're on, and welcome to an extra special edition of Across the Pitch. My name is Phil Kennedy, and today, leading up into the Phoenix Rising Championship match, I am joined by one of my very favorite people in the entire Phoenix Rising community, someone who travels to all of the Phoenix Rising games, both home and away. You will not meet a more committed fan in the world. Welcome to the show, Monica McPherson.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're really excited to have you on today. And first and foremost, tell us a little bit about how long you've been following the team for, and how you originally got started. And we want to hear your whole journey, because I know that you're one of the people who's been with Phoenix since even before they were called Phoenix Rising.
Definitely. I started watching them in 2013 when the Phoenix Wolves came to be. Been a season ticket holder ever since, and going through different owners, different names. It's still the product on the field that I'm most interested in. So it's been a journey.
That's amazing. So how did you first hear of the team? Because honestly, I didn't even hear that a team existed until a few years after that. So how did the early word of the team get out, I guess?
We were looking for a soccer game to go to, and we came back from living in the UK to move here, and we missed it. It was just around the corner for us when we lived in Warrington. So it was really hard to move here and have that all stop. So when we saw the Wolves, we were on it, and we've not looked back, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you bring up an excellent point there, because I think, especially like you said, when you're living in the UK, I think I saw a graphic the other day that in England and Wales, that 70% of the population lives within 10 miles of a football ground. And here in the United States, I mean, if you live within 100 miles of a football ground, you're lucky. And before Phoenix Rising, there wasn't really an option here. Now, of course, there's some other teams popping up like FC Arizona and things like that. But I mean, until really, like you said, about 7-8 years ago, there just wasn't an option if you wanted to go to a football match here.
Exactly. FC Arizona tried to recruit me over, but I'm like, nope, I'm staying with my guys. This is the team I've supported. I'm staying right here.
So yeah, you mentioned the different name changes, and so in 2013, where were the Phoenix Wolves playing at?
They played at ASU on the women's field. Like behind where Buffalo Wild Wings is off Scottsdale Road.
And then now I know that after the Phoenix Wolves days, that the team moved out to the Peoria Sports Complex, which is one of the stadiums that Major League Baseball does spring training in. And at that point is where they changed to Arizona United, correct?
Correct, yes.
And how many, what years was it that the Arizona United was playing out in Peoria? Because that was kind of when I first heard there was something going on.
Oh, goodness. Was it 2014?
Yeah, I want to say it was maybe, like 2014 through about 2017 is when they rebranded to Phoenix Rising.
Yes, yeah. And I know the Wolves were 2013, so that makes sense.
Yeah. And so what were the crowds like back in those days compared to what we see now?
Oh, my goodness. It was dire. There were some games when they were like, the Phoenix Wolves were fine. Like, it was a very small area, so it looked definitely more full. And then when we moved to Peoria, there were games where we could literally count the people as we were standing there. And I've had some of the guys ask me, Mon, why don't they want to come and watch us play? it definitely makes a difference to have the crowds. It helps the boys stay focused. They know somebody's there for them. They're playing, they're showing off their skills, and, we're there to cheer for them. So I much prefer now to then, just because of the crowds. I love the crowd. This year, well, not even this season, but like towards the end of last season and stuff, more people started traveling. So it wasn't just me. I used to hate that. I'd have people, like when we had Didier and Omar Bravo, come just for them, and they didn't care about our team. So they'd be like only looking for those two players on the field. But I was still yelling. And now at least when there's more people, we're louder. And it's more fun for me to have people travel with me. So I'm quite thankful for that. But when we were Arizona United, we didn't have, it was a good team, but we definitely didn't have 20 games in a row that we won, or, we didn't get to Louisville. And so people were fair weather fans.
More of a mid-table team at that point.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there were some stars on there, but it just wasn't like it is now. I'm fortunate that this team has evolved into what it is, because I think it's very special. This is a very special group of people that are on this team right now.
It really is, and you can just tell what a close-knit group it is on the pitch. And I want to talk to you about your travels with the team, because I know that's the main thing we wanted to talk about today. But before we do that, I kind of wanted to hear a little bit about the Red Fury and the story behind how that all got started.
It started as La Furia Roja for Phoenix Wolves days. And then it's just stuck with the team. And, everybody's there to cheer. And, with the Banditos right next to us, their drum section is just amazing. So, we do a lot of things outside of soccer as well. Mm-hmm. Auctions for different things, food bank. I'm support a group of refugees that, I collect clothes for, and we did an auction for them. The guys are so giving and so caring for our community that really helps drive the numbers up. When, like Zach will say, Mon, I'll give you a jersey. I'll even personalize it to whoever wins. That went for over $300. Like it helps so much. They want so much to be in the community and play. So it's Red Fury does have that heart, to be outside of just Rising at the moment. With COVID, it's been very hard for people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing all the work that's done in the community with the supporters groups and the club itself. And like you said, just how giving the players are, and donating jerseys and game equipment and things like that for whatever cause that you're promoting at the time. And
Yes.
It's just, I think that's one of the things that American sports fans really miss out on. And this isn't to speak out against the NBA or the NFL or anything like that, but it's just that, with those leagues, they're so large that it's really hard for them to maybe connect directly with the community. And I don't think that, people on the outside looking in would realize just how involved Phoenix Rising, not just the players, but the organization itself is with the community and in different charities and community events. And, just, any time that anybody asks the team for anything, it seems to be the answer is usually yes.
Exactly. A lot of people have no idea, the outreach that they have, because they're under, like, if they do something, they don't need to announce it. They want to do it because they want to do it. Mm-hmm. And it's not just to say, oh, here we are doing this, or here we are doing that. There's a lot of behind the scenes people don't realize. Sometimes maybe I think they should know, like put a tab on the website or something and just, have some pictures or something on it. But those are my favorite things, is when they go to the children's hospital, or, they're going to help, even the refugee community, that kind of thing. They're just really good people, and the club is good. They want to do that. It's just, people just
and
don't
I
realize
think
that.
of the cardboard cutouts for the children's hospital. I know Kevin from PRFC Fan Show, it was instrumental in organizing that. But I mean, that was something that the team really went out of their way to do. And then the cardboard cutouts for the fans themselves, which, it was $25 a person. That money all went to charity. And I mean, I think those are the things that the club does that don't get enough recognition among other stories that are going on there that we'll not talk about today.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not go there, because I'm sure you've seen my tweets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's why I wanted to bring you on today, is because you are just such a positive influence in the Phoenix Rising community, and you're just the perfect face for what people need to see about Phoenix Rising, and just the good people and the good that's in our community. And this is where I want to get on to talking about your travels, because I know in traveling with the team that you've become friends with a number of supporters from other clubs around the country. And well, first, let's start off. Let me ask you, when did you travel to your first away game?
With Arizona United, I traveled. I didn't with the Wolves, but I did with Arizona United. So I've been doing it probably 5 years.
And what was your favorite away trip that you've been to? Or where's your favorite trip? When you see that on the schedule, you maybe you'll mark a couple extra days on the calendar to stay at that place.
I don't even add extra days because I'm specifically going there for the game. But my favorite is San Antonio. And thankfully, not this season, but last season, I kind of encouraged people to come with me. And that is now their favorite as well. I love going to San Antonio.
Yeah, there's some great fans down there. Harry Austin is a guy that we become friends with here on the show,
Yeah.
and has been with the show. And it just seems like they're one of those teams where the fans are really behind them. It just seems like there's maybe some of the like number two teams and things like that out there where the fan support just isn't quite as loud as you'd like to
Exactly.
see, but San Antonio, they're one of those teams where when we play them, we know it's going to be a fun week with good people
Yeah.
and good banter. And so now you mentioned, of course, you used to live in Warrington, and there in the Liverpool area, you could drive to probably about 100 different stadiums within 10 miles of you.
Exactly.
But I know that one of the things that our listeners in England are going to be most blown away by is some of the distances. Other than Tampa this week, which might actually be the furthest trip that the Phoenix Rising has ever taken, what's the furthest trip that you take every year?
I go to all of them. Probably RGV. That
Rio
one's
Grande
quite
Valley?
far. Yeah, that one's pretty far. And it's really, really costly to fly into McAllen, Texas, because it's the gateway to Mexico. So normally I drive into San Antonio and I drive the 3.5 hours down to get there. So that one, that's actually my least favorite place to go. But now they have Ron Patel, who came from New Mexico. I really like him. He's good people. They have him now, but like even the stadium, all their suites are on the bottom and the fans are up above. And I just don't get into that at all. So normally I buy like the cheapest ticket and I stand behind the goal. There's one goal I can be behind, and that's where my game day experience is. But I mean, it's a lovely place and the people are really nice, but I don't know. That is probably my least favorite. But with
That
mom
is
there,
that is something we should probably make sure that everybody knows is that you're not one of these people that's up in the suites. You're in there with the drums and the singing and
yes.
right in the thick of things with the supporters groups.
Yes, definitely. I'm the smoke popper, so I am. Yeah, it's different for me. Like I look around and it actually annoys me because the sweet people, they're there for food and drink, and it's usually to like entertain clients or something, and they're not like football fans. You know, they're there because they were invited for whatever reason, and they're not watching the game. Like I can see them with their backs to the pitch. And I'm like, okay, people, you're supposed to yell right now for your team, but it's just not their thing, you know, and the stands are just too high for me. I feel so far away from the game that I would rather stand, you know, level with the pitch and yell from there than be up in the stands.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I mean, that's amazing just to kind of go back to what you said is that you're flying into San Antonio, which yeah, that's about a 4 hour flight in itself. And then driving another 3 hours to the Rio Grande Valley. And I
Yeah.
think one of the things that I mentioned to you when we were talking yesterday is that Accrington's longest trip is to Portsmouth, which is about 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
And our shortest trip here is Las Vegas, which is actually further than it is Accrington to Portsmouth. So,
Yeah.
have you ever added up how many miles you travel in a season?
I you know, I never have because it's kind of scary. Then John McPherson would make me add up the cost of everything because he's so analytical that yeah, I just kind of keep that to myself. I've not ever done the miles, but
Yeah,
it's
well, let's talk about Sean real quick because your husband Sean McPherson, he's another guy who is just one of the friendly faces of Phoenix Rising, and one of the first people that I met when I started going out to the games, and he goes to every home game, and he goes to a lot of the road games with you. Is he traveling with you on Sunday?
he is, yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's coming with me. He normally didn't go. He's kind of a homebody. So he would go if we could drive. So like he came to New Mexico, he came to El Paso. He usually does the California ones because we like going to California, but he doesn't usually go to Colorado or Tulsa or anything like that.
Yeah, Tulsa, that's another long trip. I know I did the math on that one. It was about 1,500 miles one time. So I mean that's three times the distance to Portsmouth for those keeping
Yeah.
track.
I Tulsa's fine. Their stadium's fine. It's a baseball stadium, so like I have to be super duper loud. But they have Cyprian Hedrick, and he was my absolute favorite player in the Phoenix Wolves days, and I actually have a friendship with him still, and his family. So I enjoy going there for him. And there's a photographer that I was introduced to named Lori, and she's just an amazing human. So I look forward to that trip for them, not for any other reason. But
Well, I think that's one of the best things is from the stories that you've told me. It seems like every trip that you make, you meet good people and make friends. And the other thing that I've noticed is that you're like me. Is that if somebody leaves the team, that doesn't mean that you stop following them. I remember we were. Both commenting on a post from Dallas J, who is a goalkeeper for Phoenix a few weeks
yes.
ago, or a few years ago, and I just love that you follow the players throughout the rest of their career, don't you?
I do. I'm looking forward to seeing Mustafa in Florida. So I absolutely cannot wait to see him.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that I was really sad that we didn't see him come back to Phoenix Rising this year. But it's great to see that he's having success and
He
enough
is.
to be able to be meeting us in the championship game. Now this is something you might know something about. I noticed that he had not been on the lineup the last couple of weeks. Does he have any kind of an injury that you know of?
Um, he does. He's back training though, but I don't think he's full training.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering that. So I'm glad that to get some insight on that, and hopefully he will at least be able to get out there and make some kind of an appearance on Sunday, because I know how guys really like to get a chance to go against their own team.
Exactly. I still have his fish. His daughter, they couldn't take their fish home
Oh
with them,
no!
so his fish is in my house, and I like fishy and feed fishy.
What kind of fish is it?
It's a beta, which
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm a salt tank person, so it's kind of different having this one fish swim around the bowl all day, but I take care of fishy in case fishy ever gets to go home.
Well, that's great. It's just amazing how I consider you almost to be like the team mom, if you will. But
Oh goodness.
and you, but that's what you do. You're there. You're not just screaming for goals and cheering at the games, but you really do. You know, you support these guys because a lot of times, you know, sometimes the players might be coming into the team, and you know, some of them are younger guys that might be out living on their own for the first time, and things like that. And you
Yeah.
know, you're the kind of person who will reach out and offer them some assistance. You know, if they need their fish babysitter or something like that.
Definitely. They're not just players for me, they're people first. So even the ones that might not be starting or even on the bench, you know, they're important too. And I'm not just with this team because they win. I was with this team long before they won. So it's like that doesn't change at all for me. They are definitely people first. They're families, you know. They have wives and girlfriends and children, and they're all equally important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love about your way of supporting the team, is that you don't just support them on the field, that you support them as people, and you know that's exactly what we do here with Across the Pitch. You know, if we have somebody on the show, we don't just stop talking to them you know after they've been
Yeah.
on the show. We were talking yesterday about our friend Scott Brown, who was our first ever guest, and you know, he was actually playing in Warrington yesterday, and had a serious leg injury. And we just want to send out all of our best wishes to Scott. And it sounds like he's going to be having surgery on his leg tomorrow. And,
Oh
you know,
goodness.
it's just, like you said, it's not just a player that's getting injured. It's your friend, and you know,
Hmm.
you get to know folks, and it makes it all the more difficult. And I'm sure you feel the same way when you see some of these players with Phoenix Rising there that you become friends with, and they have an injury or something like that. I'm sure
Yeah.
it hits you harder than the average person.
It definitely is hard because it's the disappointment. You know, there's nothing they can do about it. It just has to heal, and they miss so much. And, you know, it's depressing for them. This is their job. You know, some of them, it's their job and their passion. So when they're taken out of that and watching it go on without them, it's hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail there when you said for a lot of these guys, it's not just their job, it's their passion. And I know, a guy like Scott from talking to him on the show, that he's a guy that just lives to play the game, and you just root for these guys and want to see them be successful, and we just we hope that everything goes well with Scott's surgery, and then that we see him back on the pitch soon. And I'm so sorry to take us off track a little bit, but I
Oh
just
no, he's important. He's important to you, and I care about what happens to him because he's important to you. It's like I don't want them injured. Definitely don't want surgery. I hope he's okay too.
yeah, I mean it's just one of the disappointing parts of the game is when you see people work so hard, because I think that's something that you value that maybe the average armchair fan doesn't value, is the amount of work that these guys put in on a day-to-day basis. And I don't think that people realize just what it's like getting up to go and train at 110 degrees 5 days
Mhm.
a week like these guys are.
Exactly. And they put everything out there. Sometimes it doesn't go our way. We can't win every game, but as long as they don't give up, that's like Arizona United days. Sometimes some of them would just give up. And I can't, even though I support them, I don't respect that. It wasn't all of them, but you know what I mean? Like some of them, it's just like, okay, we're
Yeah.
losing again. This team does not do that. They stay, on task and they try to win every game, even though some teams are playing for penalties. It's like, I don't think they realize who our keeper is. So it's
Yeah, I mean, and let's talk about Zach, because what kind of a playoffs has he had? I did the math. He's got an 88% save percentage. He's stopped 15 out of 17 shots he's seen
wow.
during the game. And then obviously the crucial penalty saves. Uh, Jake Anderson and I were talking about it. If they gave out a playoff MVP trophy like they do in hockey, that would hands down be Zach.
Oh, hands down. He has been amazing. He has been the mountain, in the goal. Definitely. I hate penalties when it's my team. It's like I don't ever want a game to land on just one player because it's all of them. But he has been amazing.
Well, he has been, and the shooters have too. Because I mean, that's the other thing is we're 10 for 10 on our shots so far. So
Yeah.
it's just been an amazing run through these first three games so far. But I think that we're both hoping it'll be a little bit easier in
Yeah,
Tampa on Sunday.
90 minutes would be good. I don't even want extra time at this point.
No, not at all.
It's like, and then when the defenders came out first to do those first penalties, I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening right now? So nervous in Reno, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's one of those things where afterwards you look at it and you're like, that was fun, but I don't want to have to do it again.
Exactly. I mean, we went out after the Reno game, and some of the Reno fans that I've gotten to absolutely love were out with us. I mean, game winning or no game winning, they're still my friends.
Yeah.
Even if it had went the other way, I still would have been out there with them just because I've not got to see them this season. So, it's just, it's a good bond. I love having people in each city that I like and I connect with, and, it makes the trip not so lonely if it's just me going.
Well, absolutely. And I think it's just fantastic that you've been able to form a bond with the other supporters groups and meet people in different cities. And I think that what you're talking about is at the heart of why we love this game so much, is because it's one of those things where you could go and scream your head off at the other guy for 90 minutes and then, everybody be back in the pub sharing a pint afterwards, like you talked about with the Reno supporters.
Exactly. That's exactly what we do. And it's fantastic. It's this is such a beautiful game. It brings people together, and we have a common goal when we go, even on Sunday. There's a good group going, for the boys. So we're going to be loud. They're putting us in one section, and I'm so looking forward to that.
About how many people are traveling? How many fans do we have traveling to Tampa?
I'm not sure of how many additional random people there are, but I personally know of at least 20.
Nice. And especially
yeah.
in this time of COVID and limited crowds. I mean, anybody that we can get in there to make some noise for our guys is huge. And I won't be going, but like I said, you're gonna be there in spirit, screaming for me, right?
Oh, definitely. One of my "Don't you touch him." I clean that one up. "Don't you touch him" will be just for you.
Oh, thank you. Well, before we finish up here, and I want to thank you again for coming on the show, and I've loved hearing everything, and learning some history that I didn't know, going back to the Wolves days, and the Arizona United days, and I'm going to finish up with a score prediction from you. But before we do that, was there anything that you wanted to talk about that I hadn't asked you about, or maybe any special road trips that you've been on that you wanted to talk about, or anything just in general?
Well, let's see. I love the Czech family in San Antonio, and Thomas St. George, Annie in Colorado Springs. She's like the me of Colorado Springs. So is Jenny. And the Reno people are just amazing. So I appreciate each and every one of them and the love that they give me on and off the field. So thank you.
Well, that's fantastic, and it sounds like in a lot of other cities that the players have good people like yourself that are there to reach out and support them and watch their fish if need be.
Exactly. I'll have to send you a picture of Fishy.
That would be great. We'll definitely post that out because I know that the listeners will want to see. And now for the grand finale here. What is your score prediction, and what do you expect to see on Sunday?
I'm gonna go with 2-1 to Rising.
2-1 to Rising. Is that going to be in 90 minutes, or are we going to need to get that extra time?
Oh goodness. I am hoping it's only 90 minutes, but I'm going to guess extra time. I'm going to hope no penalties, though.
Okay, so
like if I put penalties out there, it'll happen.
1-1 at the end of 90, and then finish in extra time. Who do you think's going to get that finisher?
Oh goodness. I am hoping that. Oh goodness. I am hoping it'll be Jordan again, because that was beautiful.
Jordan Schweitzer. He had a fantastic goal last week, and he's a guy that just brings tremendous energy. Whenever he comes out on the pitch, it just seems like everybody moves a half a step faster.
Exactly. Of course, I want Solomon to score. He's family, but I would love for Jordan to come in at the end and pop one in for us.
Well, I think anything that ends in Phoenix Rising lifting that big trophy over their head at the end will be a result that I like to see. And Jake, when I had him on, he went 2-1, but he had it in regulation. I have it 1-1, and then us taking it in penalties. I think that's just the way playoffs have been. But so far, either yours or Jake's predictions seems a little bit easier to take the mind. So
Definitely.
that
See, I'm putting that out into the world. I'm manifesting that. So it's
Well, I thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon, and we'll definitely have to do it again in the future. And you and John definitely enjoy your trip to Tampa Bay, and
thank you.
we'll be rooting for a Phoenix Rising victory. And I will be sending you messages during the game to shout louder and, and cheer them on for me. So thank you so much, and we
Thank
like to
you.
end with an up the rising.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Monica. You have a great afternoon, and we'll talk with you soon.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers.
Bye.